Warning: the following audio may contain coarse language, as well as discussion of material that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Also, we may spoil just about anything that pops into our heads. We hope you enjoy. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Someone Wrote This. The only, well, not the only show. There's about 100 of these on YouTube. But anyway, uh, you know
Oh,
what?
come on.
Bad.
That's a low ball estimate by far.
Bad intro. But you know what? We're gonna keep going with it, just cause. It's gonna be as bad as the stuff we're reading today. I am, I am William, and I am joined as always by my good friend Tom.
Hello, William.
Hello, Tom. All right, so last time we finished reading the wonderfully epic The Eye of Argon by Jim Thies. So today we're going to take a turn into the horror territory with a with a little story called Blood Whistle. This is a Super Mario Brothers 3 creepypasta about something called the Blood Whistle. Now, if that doesn't sound like the single most exciting thing you've ever heard for a subject for a story, then I don't know what planet you're on.
I know the second you told me we were reading this, I crapped my pants in expectation. It was just like,
Alrighty, so you know what? Let's just abandon all pretense and just dive right in. What do you say?
absolutely. Wait, we have pretenses?
We don't have pretenses. We don't have.
This should be fun since I can't remember ever reading this whole thing, and you haven't read it in a while.
Yeah.
So all of our mistakes are definitely going to be on the fly here with this one.
Nice. Well, to be fair, when we were reading The Eye of Argon, our mistakes weren't really mistakes, and when they were, you wouldn't have been able to tell unless you were reading along. So just like usual, I will include the link to this story in the description in case you want to read along. But let's start with the, oh yeah, I forgot that this has a foreword.
It does,
Jeez.
which is a little weird, but hey,
All right, forward.
It can't be any worse than chapter 7.5.
All right, forward. This is the recorded blog of a college student who is playing a modified version of Super Mario Bros. 3 on his computer. Shortly after submitting the last entry, he committed suicide in his dorm room. Of course.
Should we have had a trigger warning at the beginning of this? Warning.
Well, I mean,
May have had.
it's.
I don't know what this story contains.
Well,
warning: you may be triggered.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. All right. So, I mean, we have the warning disclaimer in the beginning anyway, so whatever.
Sure.
All right, so June 5th, 2012. A friend of mine recently sent me what he claims to be a scary Super Mario Bros. 3 hack that he wanted me to try out, because he didn't have the courage. I started this blog to record my progress through the game. He got this from a site that's no longer active, and I've seen some pretty scary occurrences with emulator games before. Just look at Ben. The fuck is Ben?
What is Ben?
I have no idea what Ben is.
It's all capitalized. Is this an abbreviation?
I guess? I have no idea. All of that aside, however, there was something definitely off about this ROM. Its title was SMB3BW. Doesn't that just make you shit your pants already?
Oh my god, it's creeping me out. It's a good thing we know what SMB is.
Yeah. Anyhow, I won't play any today, as I'm quite busy with college work and such. But I will definitely start tomorrow. That's what every horror story needs to start off with. We're not going to start just yet.
We're just gonna put this over here for a while.
Yeah. All right. June 6th, 2012. I played some of the game today. Obviously, my friend was misinformed, as I have played all the way through 1-3 and have found nothing irregular. All of the sprites, levels, and sounds didn't have a fluke to their name. Wait, a secret! That must be how you have to unlock it. I swear, you guys, I'll find the warp whistle tomorrow and see what creepy secrets this game has to hide. Look for tomorrow's post. It won't disappoint. Well, geez, setting the expectations pretty high there, buddy. Maybe this will explain what the BW in the title stands for. Also, I have to stop
wait.
already, just because I have to comment on the fact that, you know, he's obviously writing this after the fact that it's all done. So why on earth does he make it sound like a secret happened in the heat of the moment?
Well, maybe he's dictating.
I
Also, how
guess.
long did it take him to get to World 1-3? Because I can get to World 1-3 in about 5 minutes.
If you play 3 levels, and yeah, I mean, Super Mario Brothers 3 is not a hard game by any stretch
And
of the
it's
imagination.
level 1 is not that long.
No, it is not.
I mean, people do speed runs of this game. I'm fairly certain in
Yeah.
like what, under 10 minutes?
Something like that, yeah. All right, so do you
Yeah.
want to take it from June 7th, 2012?
June 7th, 2012. Should he have an accent? I feel like he should have some sort of a weird accent.
I have no idea.
I don't know, creepy.
Just
I
read it.
wish I had.
Just
I
read,
wish I hadn't had the unlocked that secret. No, that's
maybe
just
just
not
make it like some kind of like. I wish I hadn't unlocked that secret.
he needs to start doing paranoid.
Yeah,
Yes,
like weird, like super deep paranoid kind of voice. Yeah.
June 7th, 2012. I wish I hadn't unlocked that secret. This game will be the bane of my existence. I'll try as best I can to explain what happened and what will currently entail.
Certainly.
Oh.
Dude, we're not reading the Eye of Argon.
I think, I think I'm still in the Eye of Argon right now.
Are you ever really outside the gaze of the Eye of Argon?
Once you're in its gaze, you're forever there. I don't know if any of you will believe me, but this sick mockery of one of my childhood favorites must be exploited and never be seen. That's it. No, that's what it
That's what it
says. I
says.
got that one right.
You're gonna work for $2.50 and you're gonna like it. Exploited.
Let's gonna start reading the Marxist manifestos next. Rise up, Toad. You are being exploited.
Jeez.
One of my childhood favorites must be exploited and never be seen by the eyes of any other breathing man on God's green earth. And Todd, what I'll call my friend for the sake of privacy and possible security, do not send that link to anyone else. You'll see why below. I entered the castle stage. Knowing its only secret was the warp whistle, I disposed of a dry bones before donning a raccoon tail. With a running start, I was flying above the stage until I hit the secret area. My whole life before I hit up on my arrow keypad was completely different. I was happy. I was normal. I could wake up in the morning recognizing my own reflection and being absolute about my safety.
So he's a vampire.
Well, before this, no.
Oh, before this he was not a vampire. Okay.
No. Maybe the mirrors. Maybe somebody snuck into his house and replaced all the mirrors. It could make sense. Now it's all lies. Now it's lies. All lies. I know that as of what happened today, my life will become an infernal hell in which every day will be a futile struggle to retain my own sanity.
Wow.
After finishing this wretched collage of electronic dejection.
It's like, here, play this thing that I just kept in the bottom of my sock drawer.
Electronic dejection. Lost his dating sim.
Like, do you go out with Kari or do you not? Oh, you didn't.
No.
You did. You had sex.
Don't forget the terrible cheesy music that those things play. MIDI sex. We're not gonna make it past this sentence.
Let's
are
go.
we?
Oh,
I will embrace death like a long lost lover
What?
with open arms. It's getting worse.
Jeez.
Well, what did you drag us into?
Oh man. Oh, something
No.
amazing. That's what I did.
Now to get on with what had come to pass. The blocks that lined the wall were a gloomy, albeit polished obsidian black. Mario's skin now had a grayish tint to it, but that wasn't what was wrong with that picture. The music was a sped up version of the normal bonus room theme, so you were looking at a picture of the music.
I guess so.
All right. Toad's skull was cracked open and profusely bleeding, spilling blood onto the floor and making the room slippery like an ice stage.
I love the fact that somebody actually included artwork of what this is supposed to look like. If I can find if I can find some way to like superimpose this or something over the video, I will, because this looks completely ridiculous.
Absolutely, you must.
Yeah.
Stick it right in the middle of where we used to have the Oscar statues.
Oh yeah.
All right. Toad's skull was hard. I did that. His mouth was also agape and spewing blood onto the floor. The blood had an eerie, reflective quality that should have been graphically impossible for an 8-bit game like Mario 3. It was actually a fairly advanced game for its time.
Yeah, I mean, but this is also a ROM, so somebody may have messed up the ROM, but oh well.
I walked up to him to see what it is that he might say. What he had to offer is this.
Blood whistle. Hear its cry. This sounds so stupid.
Blood whistle! I'm the blood whistle!
I then ran towards the chest to see its contents. The chest was drenched in reflective, realistic blood of the same type emanated by the orifices and exposed cranium
So it's not just pouring out of his mouth.
no, of the poor little mushroom-headed fellow. Pressing onward, I ran through it to discover its dark secret, its twisted surprise. I wasn't prepared for the following events. A blood-soaked warp whistle ominously rose from what I now believe is the deepest crevice of hell. It blipped twice as the normal whistle would. That, my fellow reader, was the only normality of what I have played today. It played a deep tune. Yeah, it played a deep tune that I can't get out of my head as I write this. The whistle descended, violently striking Mario in the chest. He unleashed a blood-curdling scream as it went into his back and out of his chest. That cry wasn't...
Wait. It struck him in the chest.
Yeah.
Then went into his back and out of his chest.
I guess.
So did it kill him twice?
I guess. This cry wasn't 8-bit at all. It wasn't even cartoonesque. It was the sound of unfiltered anguish, of utter agony. His expression reflected the same. To end my experience on this perverse version of something I once loved. Mario, the term purple prose was for something like this. Mario was transported to the warp zone of the blood whistle. I call it this because it had only the cookie-cutter outline of the quaint island. The water consisted solely of the same blood aforementioned in my encounter with the whistle.
He does like his big words.
I guess so. Corpses of Koopas and other enemies of Mario were scattered afloat near the shores. White menacing eyes glared at me between the waves, surfacing just to cast their evil glance at Mario. Or me, I can't be sure at this point.
Were they looking at him through the screen? If they were looking at him, then it was at him.
I guess so. All of the worlds were indicated by their respective numbers, and all of the dots were crimson. At that point, I noticed yet another abnormality, this time concerning the dot for World 8. Beside it, there were 2 8-bit patches of fire that twisted and contorted in place. Without me pressing any buttons, the whistle stabbed Mario in the ribs.
My God. Alright.
This cued him.
So that's 3 holes in Mario.
I guess. This cued him to move to the World 2 dot, refusing to pay any further attention to the horrors that surely await in this distorted desert. I saved the game and quit. I have played more than enough of my fill for today. I guess that I figured out the acronym for the ROM meant Blood Whistle the hard way. Despite the horrors that plague this abomination, I will continue to subject myself to this suffering for the sake of all of you. Well, also for mine. It'll help me keep track of the days, and maybe this desperate attempt to cling to my stable frame of mind won't prove to be in total vain.
No, I think he's lost it already.
There are 5,000 people that have followed this blog in the 2 days it's been up. You must have had some kind of following, man, if you're already getting 5,000 followers.
Seriously.
After-
You have something before this.
After this pointedly interesting post, I'm hoping to have some more. For those of you following my posts, read tomorrow's and share with your friends. I need you to expose the stark luridness of this shell of something I once knew and loved. How many times has he used the phrase of something I once knew and loved in this one blog entry?
I think at least 3. I don't
At
know.
least
I
three.
kind of lost track.
I don't blame you for losing track, man.
It's so far it's reading like a I don't know, cartridge version of The Ring.
Yeah.
Just waiting for what was her name, like
Samara
or something, to come crawling out of the. No, you have to blow on it to make it work.
Oh man, I mean, if it was a real cartridge, yeah, that might have actually. I would have loved it actually if this was like a real cartridge or something, and he's like, I tried blowing on the cartridge, it didn't work.
It didn't change the fact that
As
it
I
was pouring blood poured from my Nintendo box.
As I blew on the cartridge, I heard the same scream that Mario had when the blood whistle stabbed him. My own breath was causing Mario pain, or something like that.
I realized it wasn't my screaming, but my own.
Oh my god.
That'd be great if the Nintendo just suddenly erupted like the elevators in The Shining or something. All right.
My Nintendo exploded into remnants of something I once knew and loved.
Rock spin?
Oh god. Okay, you're up, man.
June 8th, 2012. Well, I did it. I managed to clench the fickle fibers of my perception of reality long enough to play through World 2. I have come to the conclusion that whoever made this is completely and utterly deranged.
You don't say.
There's been a rusted gear or a broken spring in the mechanisms of their sadistic mind. Oh God, we're not back to sadistic again, are we? I thought we lost that word.
Oh jeez.
Damn it.
Oh man.
Their only purpose in creating this mod was to mentally and psychologically flagellate. Did I get that one right?
Yeah, flagellate, yeah.
Yeah. The naive soul poor enough to take the bait of this mysterious origin. Well, I'm certainly naive enough to fall into that category. I digress to the experience.
To the experience!
And beyond. What? I love sentences that go nowhere.
So do I.
I find myself asking, how could I have missed major things like this yesterday when I saved the game in this world? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Blood of the same texture from before was just as splattered across the desert sands as sand itself was. Solitary eyes watched me from the pyramids. Pentagrams and other satanic symbols were also infrequent in the environment. What? So they were. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna make.
Yeah,
that.
just keep going.
Could this hack be the work of the Illuminati?
What?
Wait,
What? I completely forgot about that line.
The Illuminati.
Oh my god.
I can imagine cultists, but let's go straight for the Illuminati. Okay, enough pondering. I need to finish this grim tale. Skeletons of Koopas littered the bleak landscape. There was a distinct disturbance with Mario's appearance, though. He looked starved and parched, as one typically look after a few days in the desert. Mario then moved into the 2-1 block without my command, and the music began to play shortly thereafter. Wait, didn't he already finish 2? Did I miss something?
Yeah, he finished World 2, but now he's recounting the stage.
Oh, how did I? Yeah, wow. All right.
We're reading bad fan fictions and creepypastas. Of course, our IQs are going to go down like 50 points while we're reading these.
Dropping a little bit, and I mean, this is after I just read 30 H's. This was a reserved version of an overworld theme. Whispers and other paranormal phenomena could be heard playing in harmony with the music, saying cryptic things.
Buy
After
me a
about a
sandwich.
After about a minute, I began to record the sound. I'll upload it as soon as possible, but I know I definitely can't do it today.
Why? You took the time to write this insanely long blog post.
Could have been uploading while you were writing this.
Yeah.
One of the most distinct things I kept hearing was, "Let the whistle guide you," and "The instrument of blood plays the sweetest tune." This creeped me out, needless to say, but this of all things wouldn't prevent me from playing out the remainder of the game.
Congratulations.
The stage itself was very scary.
Damn.
Not horrific, just very scary.
Just very scary.
What were Robin Williams' old word in the movie? Very is lazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
The sky was a grayish blue accompanied by an almost white sun. The colors weren't bright or cheery in the slightest. The pyramid blocks were faded and cracked, and the wooden blocks were obviously rotting. Mario's sprite was visibly starving and pleading for thirst.
I guess so.
I'm not thirsty. Damn you, give me something dry.
If only I had the water cannon from Mario Sunshine.
How dry I am. The fire creatures fixedly stared at me like a shark stares at a school of fish, seeming to know who their next meal was. The neutral expressions of the Koopas had changed into ones of converged disgust and loathe. I had a... Loathe?
I guess.
Sure. I had obtained the raccoon by now, so I ran along the pipe-looking platform and took off.
You want me to take over for a few?
Please. I honestly feel like my IQ is slowly dropping reading this.
I flew for a little while, which was nice. I want to fly like an eagle.
It's gonna fly like a raccoon.
I guess so.
Fly like a rodent.
Hear the blood whistle, let the spirit... Mario's face changed as well, being the normal, happy smile you usually see throughout the game. I relished in the...
smile under his mustache.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason why he has a mustache was because the original designer of Donkey Kong didn't want to... he had trouble drawing him out, so they just drew a mustache for him instead.
That makes sense.
Yeah, well, especially with the pixel limitations, yeah. You alright there?
Ooh, I got to the bottom of the cup.
Oh. Yeah, well, I think there's another reason why your IQ is starting to go down while you're reading this. I relished in the few moments of happiness I sought from this game. These moments were mercilessly ended within the course of a few seconds. The sky flashed a gloomy black before the blood whistle came and impaled the poor plumber yet again.
Dear God, how many? That's 4, 5.
Something like that, yeah. Mario.
Two, one from there.
Whatever. Mario fell.
I'm
I'm trying to read, man.
Wait, no, you're talking. Sorry.
Mario fell, his corpulent figure going limp until he hit the ground with a thump that I swore I could feel. Damn, that's one amazing ROM hack. He was miraculously alive.
Way up.
His body twitching in a feeble attempt to rise. A fire creature jumped on Mario, who was now pinned to the ground and screaming in pain. His scream was bitterly realistic. It reeked of such ineffable pain it hurts me now to describe the sheer degree of torture this character was put through. There he was, burning and seething in pain, and there I sat, completely powerless, forced to watch what I thought was the end of his trials on World 2. I was so wrong.
You could shut the Nintendo off. Just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, you can turn off this ROM anytime you want. There's nothing stopping you. Though, no, but he has to finish.
I must finish for the sake of all of the viewers
This is-
that aren't reading this.
This is the one thing I never... the one thing that I never understand about so many of these, these ROM hack creepypastas especially is I have to finish it. It's like nothing's stopping you.
You know, Jared, there was a game, Spec Ops, the Spec Ops: The Line, where essentially the entire point of the author's sort of idea behind the game was you could stop playing it at any time and not make this character go through all the horrific things that he's doing
Yeah.
and hate me by the end of this game. But no, screw you for playing it.
Kind of reminds me of Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
I don't know that one.
Oh, I'll have to share that with you at some point. But anybody listening who's played Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, you know the feelings of sheer hatred the game has given you. The level select came into view. Whistle threw back. Okay. Mario was transported to one of the
That's
pyramid
6
levels.
levels.
I guess so. Okay. Mario was transported to one of the pyramid levels. When the level started, the background was an egregious, smoke-filled black. Bursts of lightning filled the sky with illumination. Winged demons in flight were visible upon these strikes. Also in the skies glowed stagnantly lit pentagrams and 666. Mario
Not
was...
the Illuminati, then.
No, that is not the Illuminati. Mario was being carried by two of Bowser's sons up one of the game's pyramid structures. However, this particular structure was vastly different from the regular ones. The bricks were cracked and faded with age. The edges were jagged with dried blood caked... Wait... What? The edges were jagged with dried blood caked each block.
I think there's supposed to be a comma in there.
There is. It's supposed to be, yeah. No, the
No,
edges were jagged.
No, comma doesn't fix that.
Yeah, comma doesn't fix that at all. No. No, screw you. Nothing but a heavy drum beat and the sounds of thunder played in the background. The thunder didn't play in unison with lightning as happens in most games. There was an eerily realistic pause between the flare of the lightning and the boom of the thunder. As
Because
the top
that can't be achieved by some good programming.
No, of course not. As the NES was not capable of anything like that. And of course NES ROMs, which you can make, clearly are not capable of that either. As the top of the structure was reached, I saw the worst thing yet. You want to take it over from there? We can hear the worst thing yet?
Yes. Bowser towered above everything else, intimidating and terrible. Below stood 4 of his sons, 2 of which had carried Mario. What? Why were they carrying Mario?
Well, they're carrying him up the pyramid or thing, whatever.
Oh, wait. Mario. Oh. Wow. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were. Morton, Iggy, Ray, and Von Koopa.
Congratulations, you've played Super Mario World. Because I think
I was
that's...
going to say they don't remember them having names in Mario 3.
I don't think they had... I think maybe if you had the strategy guide, they probably did. But no, they were given names in Super Mario World, yeah.
No, I had the strategy guide. It had all it had all the solutions to all the
puzzles and whatnot, yeah.
Yeah. Like it had all the card ones worked out, so you knew what to flip if you flip a couple of these things.
Oh yeah, okay.
And figure it out from there.
Okay.
Above the entire scene were the words "Blood Whistle" in bright red neon letters.
Neon letters. Okay, so we're going downtown.
They walked into a bar.
But yeah, it's gotta have the weird like neon lights on, like the
It's gotta, yeah, right. One,
And of course, one of them has to be
key
out.
flickering or
And
something.
one of them has to be out. Yeah, like, like blue whistle or booed whistle.
Yeah, boot whistle. Uh,
Oh man.
Bowser's face had to be 10 times more evil than I had ever seen it. His green shell was cracked, and his white spines had been dipped in blood. Blood was fresh on his teeth also, as his serpentine tongue licked them, making clear his intentions on what to do with Mario after he had disposed of him. It was then I came to a dooming realization. Mario can't die.
What?
The game won't let him.
Oh, for the love of fuck.
However many things are thrown at him, in however many ways he is brutally maimed.
Like by blood
mortality-
whistles.
Okay, 6 holes.
Yeah,
6.
6 holes.
6. I've been counting.
Okay.
Mortality will not escape him. For a time, that is. He will continue to be sustained by whatever dark force or sick mind that drives the rest of these occurrences to passing until the game's eventual end. Why are these... God, pick a tense, man. In which he will ruefully and painfully perish. Now that it has been said to continue today's experience.
First to the experience and now to continue the experience.
Thought we were already doing that.
I guess so.
Suddenly, Von Koopa produced a dagger. It gleamed with uncanny realism, and everything is ultra realistic.
I guess so, yeah.
And it's good for 8-bit.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
The light of the blood whistle sign that loomed above. Oh, I love a good bar lighting.
Yeah.
There's one up on Tip Hill that
Yeah.
I swear to God, the only light in the bar is the Budweiser sign on this thing. Just, everything's got this red glow to it. After a brief pause, he began to slice Mario's chest open. Mario again brayed. He's turned into a horse.
I guess so.
That fearful cry, "Weenie!"
Yeah, so just to clarify, we're not counting that stabbing because it did not involve the blood whistle, right?
No.
Okay,
No,
good.
that's
Yeah.
still 6, but
Yeah.
he's turned into Mr. Ed.
I guess so.
A cry that implied that he would die only to endure torture of 10 times more magnitude. Wait. He can't die. You just said he can't die.
Yeah.
Tears streamed down his face as Von removed his heart, still pumping. He handed it to Bowser, who ate it with a crunching chomp. He's got a hard heart.
Guess so, man. Wow.
His sons laughed as he did this, blood flowing from Mario's exposed abdomen. With a bark from their twisted father, the sons shamelessly began to regurgitate and tear apart what was open.
How do you tear apart what?
How do
Oh,
you
yeah.
they threw up and then tore apart their own vomit? Is this what I'm reading? Is this what I'm reading?
I can't. I can't.
Daddy, I don't remember eating this.
So that's where the beef stew went yesterday.
I didn't have corn. As they were doing this, Mario slowly turned his head towards me and uttered a single question through tears and blood. Why?
Why?
I myself asked the same question. God almighty, this sentence. Hang on a second. I myself asked the very same question. Why would they treat him as an animal, if not less, for their amusement? You just answered that. You literally just answered that.
They were hungry.
Not only were they hungry, they're evil! Oh, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. No, I'm sorry, I'm going to treat you like an animal here, but that's wrong. PETA will hear of this. Why would someone initiate a genesis of such horrid contraption?
You almost misread that as contraception. Don't lie. At least they had the dignity to do it safely.
They used a diaphragm and a condom.
Dun dun dun. uh,
A contraption in which life and death had no meaning and are manipulates, a contraption in which concepts such as morals, remorse, and mercy are completely foreign? Is that a question?
I mean, it is a question technically because it's continuing the thought of the last two questions, so
Oh,
it's just written very
okay.
badly.
God almighty, we're back into gym thighs.
Mm.
It makes me shudder to think that there is someone sick enough out there to put a character through this kind of unbearable hell just to sit back and laugh. It makes me absolutely sick to my core.
Then
But
you've
I'm
never
going to
played.
keep playing this game
You've never
because I'm
played.
sickened by it, and I can't tear my eyes away.
Then you've
William, take over for me.
then you've this guy can't believe that people are being treated this way. Then you've obviously never played School Days.
I haven't.
Anyway,
Wait, is that the one with the boat?
yeah,
At
no,
the
you mean the nice boat? Shoutouts to the nice boat. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Oh, that reminds me of an. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that reminds me of another thing. You're probably wondering as to why I complacently talk about Mario as if he's a human being. A human who suffers pain, sorrow, depression, starvation, and thirst like the rest of us. And also, whatever random words I can use to describe the human experience.
Somebody got themselves a hold of a thesaurus.
Yeah, like starvation and thirst and going to the bathroom. A human who is also capable of feeling happiness, remorse, goodwill, and love like anyone else. It's because I am thoroughly convinced that he is.
What?
Uh,
What?
okay. So, so did this guy who made this ROM hack take someone in real life and put them in this ROM and then make it their own personal snuff game?
Wait. I got this. It's like a virtual reality Saw.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, I want to play a game. Okay, now it makes sense.
Do you want to play a game? I want to play a game.
Please, don't stop following this blog because you think I'm insane. That will
Late.
come later. Oh, no, you're insane already, trust me.
Wait, which comes later, the insanity or the unfollowing? Both?
I believe without a shadow of a doubt that inside this game is a character with a complex range of emotions. Someone who feels like you and me. But it's just a game, right? It's just a contrived mixture of code and data put together to present words and images, correct? Wrong. I know with everything inside of me that Mario has to be alive. I have seen him truly happy and truly sad, and at one point I may even see him truly angry. He feels like any other living, breathing human being.
Either that or the writers know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Saying.
yeah. The Super Mario Bros. 3 was famous for its characterization.
Was it?
I don't know how. I don't know why.
Oh,
I
wait, I
don't.
thought you were answering my question.
No!
Sorry, I lost it there for a second.
The look on your face was just getting more confused as I went on. I don't know how something so human could rise from something so truly inhuman. A character with a soul seemingly completely impossible to me before I played this hack. I now have a goal with this game, to keep this poor creature safe. You can keep him safe by not playing. I suppose I now know the real truth. I'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place.
It's good. We're having a Batman ending.
I'll read another couple and then you can take over for a few because I was only like 3 in the very end there.
Mario has been tied up by Koopa. Will he survive? Will he survive this inescapable death trap? Tomorrow.
Let's go.
Mario channel.
June 9th, 2012. It's me again. I had a horrible range of nightmares last night that are a direct result of playing this game. Some really weird stuff also went down. Oh, you mean like they usually do in nightmares? Before I get into today's gameplay, I'll have to go through them with you guys, so I'll have an interactive record of my dreaming habits related to this game. I myself, if you want to hear about the second nightmare, click the green arrow.
I had a
True.
dream.
I had a dream that Mario would live. Okay, wait a minute. Why did I just say something like Martin Luther King but said it in the Barack Obama
I
voice?
don't know. Will, exactly how racist are you? Do they all look the same to you, Will?
Oh man, wow.
Oh.
Alright, so I myself am having
I'm so glad nobody listens to this thing.
I myself am having a hard time as to how they were so close to home and what they mean for my seemingly inevitable downfall. Before I tell you this, I have to let you in on a piece of relevant information. In the 4th grade, I used to play
I told you that story so I could tell you this.
In the 4th grade, I used to play the recorder. Every kid had to learn some musical skill, and I liked wind instruments because of their method of play, appearance, and sound.
No,
So you
it's
were-
because every damn kid had got handed an effing recorder to learn, and it was the worst instrument on the face of the planet.
Well, this is gonna shock you, but I didn't actually learn how to play the recorder in elementary school. It wasn't taught in our music program.
Oh, I didn't learn how to play it either. What I had to do was stand in the concerts and mime like I was playing because apparently I sucked that hard.
Okay, because of their method of play, appearance, and sound. Well, that's pretty insightful for someone in 4th grade. Such is the irony of the instrument that has caused me all of this grief. In my dream, I was playing the instrument in a dark room. There were some photographs developing too. Does anyone even know what a dark room is anymore?
It's turned into 1 hour photo. Robin Williams is standing over in the corner just leering.
The picture had realistic blood. Oh man.
Oh, this is getting
wow.
good. You picked a good one here, Will.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
I am enjoying this.
All right, I'll read one more and then you can take over.
All right.
I was my fourth grade force. I
Come on, you can do it, Will. You can do it.
I was my 4th grade self, just coolly playing "Mary Had a Little
It
Lamb."
was some smooth jazz. Mary had a little lamb.
Do 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 do.
Mary had a little lamb. Her face was white as snow.
Out of nowhere, I began to cough. Oh, let me take a wild guess. You were gonna cough up some blood. I had choked on. Oh my god! I had choked on some blood that had materialized within and around my recorder. It covered it. It soon filled it. Blood began to pour in great quantity out of all the recorder's holes. It soon began to float in midair and hover. Oh, I can see where this is going. A few seconds passed, and then it struck me in the chest.
6 times.
No, that's 7 times now, isn't it?
Oh, well, Mario's got 6. Now he's got a gaping hole in his chest.
So now it's 1. Okay, so it's 1 to 6.
Yes.
It had impaled me, going directly through my heart and every other vital artery one could think of.
Wow.
You could just say the aorta, because that's the most important artery.
No. What I'm gathering from that sentence, it just pincushioned him.
I
in one
guess.
shot. Either that, yeah.
I guess. Oh my god.
Hang on. We're attempting to make sense of this, Will.
Yeah,
we got to stop doing this.
We really got to stop doing that, yeah.
I woke up, the sheets plastered to my bare chest with sweat. Ew. That's a terrible picture you want to think of. Don't say it. Don't spray the drink.
Someone had snuck into my room and tried stabbing me with the recorder. The recorder was drenched in blood.
The new serial killer, the Maestro. I'm gonna sing you a lullaby.
It'll build to a crescendo.
You will go to sleep or I will sing you a lullaby.
Of death. Oh my god.
Uh,
All right, so we just heard about his bare chest. So
I woke up, the sheets plastered to my bare chest with sweat. I was completely fine, not a scratch on me.
except for the fact that you were sweating a lot.
There's that. Yes, you're gonna need to change the sheets. He
Yes.
knows how to do the laundry. As I sat there in bed, afraid of how I'm sure this game did this. Or maybe it was just me losing my sanity. I began to hear noise coming from my laptop. It was close, but a faint muffling humming sound was clearly audible. I warily approached my computer, the machine almost looking alive. Then I opened it up. It was a picture of a Super Mario Bros. 3 Raccoon Mario sprite on a black backdrop. He was chained up by his legs and feet. Yes.
Okay. His
And the
legs,
chain
his legs, and his feet, just for good measure.
and the change reached outside of the screen. The blood whistle sat as a centerpiece of it all through Mario's chest. 7. 7-1. The tune of the blood whistle played over and over. It was punctured a lung then.
Yeah.
So.
So over and over. So somebody made the 10-hour version and put it on YouTube.
Oh God. A loop that only exacerbated the sound.
Yeah.
God, I hate that word.
Yeah.
There's some words that I just have a really hard time pronouncing.
We all have that, yeah.
Welcome to one of them.
Exacerbated, yeah.
Yeah. The sound within the walls of my psyche. I tried exiting out of whatever this program might have been, but the window wouldn't close. I eventually had to take out my laptop battery, which didn't sit too well with my OS. Why?
I don't know.
Luckily, I didn't lose any files. Now for the gameplay.
Now for the gameplay.
Wait. So, isn't this ROM... Is this ROM on his laptop, or is it in the Nintendo cartridge?
It's on his laptop. It's on his
Which
laptop.
He just disconnected.
Yes.
And he cannot play because there's no battery in it.
Yeah, I guess he didn't put the battery back in, so...
All right, so it's already an unholy thing of doom since it's playing with zero power. Yeah, that should have been your first clue. It might be from Satan.
Theory. The laptop is run by blood.
Gonna start leaking out the all the ports.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I was on a weak imitation of the world's level 3 map. The water was none other than blood.
Of course it was.
Of course it was. It almost feels like it either. The water was none other than blood.
I'm just surprised
Who is behind the water.
I'm just
Look
surprised
at it. It's old man blood.
I'm just surprised it wasn't
for it too. If it weren't for you meddling kids.
I'm just surprised that it wasn't like the same realistic blood that was been mentioned so many times. This was just plain nothing special blood.
It's just kind of red.
Yeah, just red.
There was something off about Mario's map representation that I noticed right away. He was filled with holes. 7 of them. Along his raccoon tail, the blood whistle was now a permanent fixture through his body. What?
So he's trying to be a unicorn and failing.
Through his ass? That's where the tail comes out.
Through his chest, wasn't it?
Well, that's the last plate, but it was along his raccoon tail. Along with his raccoon tail.
Oh,
why did I
okay.
completely miss that word with?
I don't...
All right. Wait, so the raccoon tail is a permanent fixture, and the blood whistle is now a permanent fixture.
Yeah, so like one's coming out of his ass, and the other one's coming out of his chest, given how many times it stabbed him in the chest at this point.
So it's a raccoon unicorn. No.
Yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
So you got
or like a failing unicorn because it's not on his head.
A failed raccoon unicorn plumber.
Yes. That's an expression I never thought that I would hear in my life, but now I have, so.
Things you were not prepared to hear today.
Nope. Jeez.
His skin had dulled a little from its prior shade of gray, now more outwardly noticeable. It was grayer gray. What?
It was dark gray. I don't know.
There were now 50 shades of it, and he had broken out the ball gag.
I swear to God. Hashtag not my Mario. Oh my god.
His mustache now had dots of red clung to it as well. The ball gag didn't help. Without I'm sorry. Without my or Mario's control, needless to say, I was moved to the first underwater stage. Oh, good, they're gonna drown him now.
Yeah, drown in the blood.
Oh, Christ, I forgot it's blood. A cherry red tint absorbed the entire screen.
There's your reminder.
This was to be expected, as the water looked blood-red on the outside as well.
Oh god.
I swam down to the left side of the level to get a fire mushroom.
There are no fire
No,
mushrooms.
wait, no, yes.
It's a
Thank you. I
fire
was just about
flower,
to
you
say,
idiot.
flower. As soon as Mario got it and his outfit changed, he got an evil simper on his face. He looked at me and said, "Revenge? Yes? No, wait, it's got to be in an Italian accent.
Revenge, yes?
Revenge, yes?
That's my best Mario impression.
You probably do it a little better than me. You got more Italian than I do.
Fair enough.
I confirmed his suspicions, and then we were set off for the danger that lurked near. I was about to read the catfish. The fish cast malevolent gazes at Mario as he swam by, incinerating them. His normal, happy smile returned. So did mine. Oh yes, death and destruction definitely brings a smile to my face.
Of course it
God,
does.
it's like Grigner being delighted by the corpse.
Yeah.
My, you look great for a dead guy.
Oh my god.
The annihilation of the carnivorous creatures didn't last long before both Mario and I faced a hellish dilemma.
He does have a rather interesting way of doing alliteration, but not nearly with the same level of grandeur as Jim Thighs.
Oh god, Jim Thighs I think he's got the crown at the moment for that one. All right, I'm going to let you read out to the end of this one.
There's what is beeping over there? It's probably some stupid
You've got a fire
snowplow or
alarm
something.
Will, it's because you're reading this. Suddenly blood will start pouring out of the air conditioner behind you.
There was a large fish with rows of razor-sharp teeth. Below him were two power-up blocks, one black-looking and one purple-looking. I assumed that these were supposed to mean red and blue.
No, you'd be wrong.
They're black and purple. Obviously, there was no progress from this point without finding out what these blocks had in store. I really hope one of these is the blood whistle and it stabs him.
I really hope he erupts blood.
Mario's expression changed back into its gaunt appearance that he had for the majority of the game. Knowing I had no other choice, I dauntingly hit the block that was black in appearance on the left.
No, you idiot. Take the purple one. At least it's got some color.
Yeah. The fish swam around from its position the fish swam around from its position in top of us.
Yep,
and began
in top of us
and began to tear off Mario's limbs. By this time, a group of fish had congregated around the entire scene. Their laughs were deep and short, registering as barks for the 8-bit sound processor. You're playing on a ROM on your computer.
Also, he's gotten enough good stuff that it's like ultra realistic screams. This is obviously not an 8-bit sound processor anymore.
Mario's unable body wobbled as he bled out, spewing black across the red. Okay, so he's Wander from Shadow of the Colossus. Okay.
That was what I was thinking.
When he finally died, the big fish began to laugh. After a couple of seconds, Mario's limbs regrew. So he's a Namekian from Dragon Ball Z. With the blue block remaining. It's purple. You said it was purple looking. I hit it to get this over with.
I would imagine the blue one represented the black block anyway. Like the black was the blue and the red would have been the purple.
Okay.
That would make sense, wouldn't?
Bubbles stopped coming from Mario's mouth.
We're trying to make logic out of this.
Yeah, I know. He cried out for help, but that only made the problem worse. He sucked in tons of water. You mean blood? His hands around his neck.
No. Well, bloody water.
Bloody water. Oh, excuse me. His face began to grow from gray to blue in a matter of moments. Okay, he kicked and fought, but he only wore himself down. Getting angry, he began to incinerate random fish that had gathered in the crowd. The fish began to laugh louder. For every fish he killed, two more appeared in its place. So he's fighting the Hydra from Hercules. After a while,
Yes.
he just gave up. I watched as Mario uttered his last gurgle on World 3, the blood whistle stabbing and taking him away.
Eight.
I saved and quit with haste. See you all tomorrow. Oh my god.
It's Mario. Look, it's Mario.
Oh man. Jeez.
My best bobblehead ever. It's Sir Bors from Monty Python.
Oh my god. Whew, boy. Oh man. Do you want me to do just like another couple or something? I don't care.
No, I'm gonna take it down to the peach.
Okay.
June 10th, 2012. Campus police gave me a visit today. Apparently, one of you had reported my comments related to suicide and claimed I was insane. As a result, I have eliminated all personal information from this blog. I located the person who reported me and banned him. Wow, that's
Nice.
actually impressive. I also have an IP tracker, so don't any of you try that. What? Wait, what? Try what?
Try reporting me.
Oh,
Also, what's to stop this guy from going on someone else's computer and reading this blog? Or at least creating a fake account.
Will.
I know. I'm applying logic to a story for which there is no logic. I can't help it. I need to work some kind of critical thinking here when I'm reading this crap.
I know, you almost have to get you have to get a little exercise into the brain just to keep it from, I don't know,
Yeah,
failing miserably.
I guess.
Speaking of followers, 50,000? I never expected the page to accumulate this many active viewers. Wherever this popularity or notoriety came from, I am grateful. Now for today's gameplay. After today, I'll be lucky to finish the game. Princess Toadstool's letter appeared after the previous screen from World 3 faded out. She was squirming and shifting around. Bowser's hand covered her mouth and nose, but it was easy to see the fear in her eyes, probably because she couldn't breathe. They darted left and right in stark, true fear. Bowser continued to have that sadistic smile.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have a psychological complex every time I see or hear the word sadistic.
Seriously. And it's always a smile! God! Oh, you know what? I'm going to come to have the same reaction that you do to, like, the phrase, "it is written," from that movie, which we won't name, to every time I see the words sadistic smile, grin, or other sort of face expression.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Bowser continued to have that sadistic smile on his face as he struggled with her. After about a minute and a half, Peach began to change. Her eyes grew ominous red reed. Wait, her eyes grew an ominous reed as she pushed Bowser's arm away with inhuman strength.
I don't know what color reed is, but I think we can both agree that it's the color of blood.
So much right now. She cackled like a loon, blue veins bulging so noticeably that they were clearly visible through her white satin gloves. What the?
Oh my god.
The rest of her hands you couldn't see, but those veins, hulking out over here.
You know, that's what I look for when I'm looking at a woman. I look at the veins.
Hey, baby, you got some nice veins bulging out there.
Oh, jeez. My god.
Checking out her bulge. Bowser then began to cower in timidity.
Yeah.
Got it. Don't worry, I got it.
Yeah.
The text on the letter said only this: "Blood whistle, hear its cry. Love, Peach."
The letter scene was abruptly cut off, and the World 4 level select map was brought into view. Goombas and Koopas of all sizes had appeared, furious and hungry as ever. This addition made sense. This was the this was the giant tiny.
Makes sense.
This was the giant tiny world. The enemies. Oh, okay. So that's what it is. It's the world where everything is a weird size in the game. Okay. This was is that World 4?
It is World 4.
I think it is. Yeah.
Dear God, no! Just that sentence.
This edition made sense.
Made sense.
This was the giant tiny world as shown. The shown enemies would be dimensioned as such. The normally green grass was withered and dead. The small the small patches of water were what else? Maple syrup. No, of course it's blood.
Full syrup. We wandered into Canadian Mario, eh?
The moose attacked me.
My sister was gored by a moose once.
Oh God. Monty Python reference.
It needs to be there.
Oh man.
You brought up moose. It's your own damn fault.
Yeah. The map view for this one was. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I skipped something.
Yes.
Mario still was in the fireball fatigues that he donned in World 3. Never mind. When compared
Stop trying to make sense of it, Will.
When compared the other worlds, the map view for this one was vastly less disturbing. I would go so far as to call this tolerable. Mario moved toward 4-1 into whatever nightmarish scenario the stage had to offer. The sky had the usual kinks of any level in the game.
No, the stage.
Oh, the stage. The stage had the usual kinks of any level in the game. Okay. The sky was black, which made the white clouds vibrantly contrast. A reversed version of the ground level once again played.
Wait. Usual kinks of this game. So we're in leather bondage gear at the moment in the world he's running around.
Stop.
I'm just.
Oh.
The gimp was limping along.
Yeah. A reversed version of the ground level once again played. The wood, as it had been before, was decaying and wasting away before Mario's feet. The pipes were faded and cracked in various places. All the enemies still possessed the same carnivorous looks of their inter-game counterparts.
Wow, Will, man, speeding through this, man. You're leveling this reading.
Well, the fact is that he's saying that this is all like similar to what's been seen before, so.
All right, I get it.
There was oddly enough. I'll switch back. There was oddly enough a startling abundance of them. Goombas and Koopas danced around in a ritualistic manner. Mario was visually petrified as he tried to avoid them. My arrow keys keeping them only inches away from his life. Amidst the all of the din, there hovered a solitary power-up block. Go ahead, Tom. You can say what you want to say.
No, I can't even voice his words. First, it sounds like he's wandered into the Wicker Man. And then what? Amidst the all of the din.
Yeah. Whew, okay.
Right.
It was regular in appearance. Nothing was outwardly off about it, which greatly surprised me. Not knowing what horrid item it contained, I bumped it in blind vain. That maybe it could help me. You can most likely infer from the intonation I made in the preceding paragraph that I was completely mistaken.
No, there was nothing inferred in that period.
What inferred it was literally the entire story so far.
No, the only thing you inferred from the previous paragraph was it was a lone power block hovering in the middle of the air.
Yeah.
That's it.
See.
Continuity is out the window here.
What appeared next is what I dreaded. That damn whistle. It was sitting there, blood washing over it as it rose from the yellow square. It sat there almost beckoning my name. With its imposing enemies, I knew I had no other choice.
Take it in the chest.
And then I took a blood whistle in the chest.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took a blood whistle in the chest. Knee.
I took the weapon from its place. What? Fruitlessly hoping for the best, readily expecting the worst.
I drew the whistle from my chest cavity.
The on-screen foes ceased all activity. Their faces returned to the neutral bank state. Excuse me, I'd like to make a deposit, please.
They've turned into Switzerland.
Yeah. 5 minutes they stood in place like this, not moving a muscle. I jumped around and tried to kill them, but to no avail. It's almost as if they were frozen within the confines of time itself. As if for specifically them, all interstellar and physical continuity came to a careening halt.
What did I just read?
Apparently, these Koopas are able to travel in space. So this is a ROM hack
They're
that clearly imagines Super Mario Bros. 3 as a prototype of Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh my god, they've moved through the fourth dimension?
I guess.
Is this like a prequel to that movie Interstellar?
I guess, I don't know. Then they began to move. After the first couple had did it, I realized what was truly going on. This was a mass suicide. What? This is oh my god. Most of them just jumped in the nearest hole. What hole? But others performed.
The nearest one, Will. Did you not get that?
Shut up! In the nearest hole. But others performed incredible feats of acrobatics and medical impossible.
No, that's not impossibility. Will.
Medical possibility.
Medical possibility.
Oh my god.
All right. Oh, I get to read. Oh, I'm gonna read what they did.
Oh yay!
One Koopa was bashing his head in on a pipe. Another Goomba jumped 6 or 7 times his own height, turned around in the air, and sent blood flying everywhere with a great splat.
What a surprise!
Yeah, super surprised. Oh my god, it's turned into The Happening. Soon all of the enemies were dead. The remains were spontaneously upchucked from the trench below. Great, that's twice now this game is vomited.
Or maybe it was like the sand pit from Return of the Jedi.
The Sarlacc? Yes.
Yeah, so that's what it's called, the Sarlacc.
A grisly mixture of guts and gore littered the entire remainder of the level. Mario shuffled through the remains, horrified with tears streaming on his face throughout. Were they blood tears?
I hope so.
Random, deep, bassy tones played with nothing else to accompany. Ah, we're getting a solo.
So we're getting dubstep foundation.
Realistic squishy sounds were every time Mario took a step. God.
Oh man.
What we need is I need a stocking and a bunch of Jello right now.
Oh my god, yeah.
He continued to cry for the duration of the level. Oh my god, you know what? It's turned into the game. Oh my god, what the hell is the name of the one? Oh, I don't remember. Penny Arcade made it for.
Oh yeah, Penny Arcade.
Yeah, you're right. They made it for Jack Thompson when they when he made the bet about them making a game.
Yeah.
Literally, the guy cried the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
The whistle faded into view and followed Mario a few inches above his head like a
pestilential virus.
Thank you, dear God. I didn't know how to pronounce that. Pestilential virus. After he cleared it, of course, the whistle went straight through his head. 9.
Is it 8 or 9? I lost count.
9. After he cleared it, of course, the whistle went straight through his chest as Mario was headed to World 5. The game has a habit of putting me where it needs me to be, like in the middle of Mario's chest. So I closed the window without saving. Witnessing all of that death really racked my nerves. Sure, it might be a game, but with the things this game has to present to me, I started to lose my perception of reality. I'm starting to wonder to myself, what is real and what is inside the computer? These two things are quickly fusing into one. I keep seeing all these blocks in the middle of the street and feel the need to jump headlong into them.
Maybe he's just been taking a lot of LSD, and this is actually just a regular, nothing special game of Super Mario Bros. 3.
I can't get to the fridge. That damn dragon is still guarding it. The lines, they're blurring. Have you ever read um the the House of Leaves?
No, I have not.
Oh Christ! You have to read this. This is a absolutely phenomenal book for anybody that's actually listening to this. Find and read The House of Leaves. This is a great book about a line being blurred in the middle of listening or watching something, and suddenly your world twisting into something else. Anyway, pretty soon the days will start fading together, and by then I'll have lost all sense of reality. I hope to see you all tomorrow. I don't know how much longer I can put up with this game. No, it's not a game. I couldn't tell you what this is.
I've got a way that you can tell what day it is. Just look in the bottom right corner of your computer.
Or possibly in the blog entry of June 11th, 2012.
I think there's only like 2 or 3 more blog entries, so we might as well finish this tonight.
Oh, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I don't think we've gone that far, that long.
Yeah. June 11th, 2012. Today being D-Day fits because what?
What?
Okay,
What?
I want to read this description. Hang on. Today being D-Day fits because I'm fighting one hell of a war against this game. And a losing one at that. But D-Day D-Day was what helped us win World War II.
Maybe he's Germany.
Maybe he is German. But if that's the case, then he certainly got a more colorful grasp of the English language than most people I know.
Ach, mein Mario.
Blood whistle, here it's...
It's Mario Wolfenstein edition.
Yeah. Oh my god. I might ask my friend, my friend who actually lives in Hamburg. I might ask her, how do you say blood whistle? Hear its cry in German. Oh my god. At least there are no more mishaps with you all so far, which puts me at rest. As of today's gameplay, I fear for my own life. I feel as if something is coming after me, lurking, seeking me out as to make immediate my demise. Never before has anything like this ever happened. Never before
That's good, because you would be insane.
Yes, you would.
And possibly committed by now.
Nothing before has anything electronic made me truly afraid, truly scared. I will most likely get no sleep tonight. Nothing in particular occurred. It's just, you'll find out below.
No, something had to occur.
Yeah.
You don't get this way by nothing happening.
Yeah, you don't immediately start fearing for your own life for no reason whatsoever.
Today I saw a lovely butterfly floating down the sidewalk, and suddenly I knew I was going to die.
I was in the middle of the cloud portion of World 5. The sky theme played, except it was drastically slow and demonic whispers were clearly audible.
Make me a sandwich.
The whispers were I love that we brought that back. The whispers were almost the same as the ones I heard back in World 2. Oh, okay, so it makes perfect sense.
Yes, I didn't even read that part either.
Don't forget the pastrami. And not on white bread, on wheat bread. Oh. Mario was outfitted with the Tanuki suit, which naturally suited the environment. What?
How the rusty F word does the Tanuki suit the environment that's coated in gore and blood?
Oh my god. There was nothing there except 2 things, a red dot and a card game. The card game icon looked similar enough to its regular game clone. No, this is the clone. You are stupid. Except the spades rolled across a red background instead of a blue one. Ooh!
It's not black and purple?
Are you sure it's not blood? Now, for whatever reason, I was allowed to choose which path to take. I chose
to be a tarot cards, and they're all gonna be death.
I chose to do the card game, hoping it would serve as some sort of reprieve from all the madness. That was not the right choice. Toad didn't explain the rules of the game like normal. Instead, I was plunged into the rolling slots. Beside the slots was a risky wait a minute. Didn't he? That's not what the card
No,
game
the
is.
card game is not the slots.
No, the slots are the slots. Oh my god. Unless
Did he totally mess up? There's the flip the card game, which I already explained about earlier.
yeah. Maybe the game spewed blood in his eyes and he thought he chose the card game but he didn't.
That makes sense.
Besides, the slots was a risky scenario. Toad was on a guillotine.
Terrific. It's a game of hangman.
Yeah, he looked at the camera with timid, teary eyes. He also was vigorously shaking his head. He shook his hands in a futile effort to free himself from this appalling apparatus, but nothing came of it. The entire picture engulfed me as so much I didn't even notice the slots. I cautiously pressed them, trying as best I could to line them up given the stress of the situation. I failed and had
Good.
to pay the personal price.
Here, you want me to pick this up?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go refill my water really quickly, so you can read for a while if you want.
All right, there we go. The blade fell with breathtaking speed. Toad was beheaded right there and then. His head did a couple of spins in the air before landing in a conveniently placed basket nearby. The initial spins flayed blood across the way. You can't flay blood. Will, come back. Come back, Will. Blood filled the basket and filled it up. Toad's body spraying blood from the stump where his head used to be. Out of nowhere, the blood whistle came down and struck his torso. 10. That's 10 holes for the blood whistle right now. The scene faded out and back to the map. I was moved to the only remaining destination in World 5. Oh, Will, you missed such a great paragraph.
I did.
You did. I almost want to read it again just for you. Because there's so much blood in this paragraph.
Please do. Sure, why not?
All right. You might be able to edit it a little bit or whatever, but I'm reading it again for your sake.
All right, yeah, I'll make the appropriate edit. Yeah.
The blade fell with breathtaking speed. Toad was beheaded right there and then. His head did a couple of spins in the air before landing in a conveniently placed basket nearby.
Oh my god.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh.
The initial spins flayed blood across the white room. Flayed blood. Blood filled the basket and filled it up. Toad's body spraying blood from the stump where his head used to be. Out of nowhere, the blood whistle came down and struck his torso.
All right, so now it struck Toad's torso. So now that makes Mario being stabbed 9 times, the guy being stabbed in his dream with the blood whistle, and Toad being stabbed with the blood whistle.
Yeah, so we've got 9 to 1 to 1.
9 to 1 to 1.
9-1-1
is what I'm going to be calling soon. Anyway.
The scene faded out and back to the map. I was moved to the only remaining destination in World 5.
Whew.
Don't edit the previous paragraph. Just go ahead and listen to it. Silent lightning streaked across the licorice black sky. Oh God, nobody likes black licorice.
No one does at all.
Actually, I don't mind it. It's just not the first thing you go for in the licorice basket.
No.
Gray clouds and Mario are the only other consistently visible things. As far as everything goes, silhouettes of winged demons flew and danced in the background. I tried turning into the stone structure that Tanuki's suit is so famous for, but it failed. No music played at all. No music at play. This is I couldn't figure out what was wrong with this sentence. No music at played. None at all. The demons would be heard whispering in what sounded like a variety of languages. Subtitles in Italian. Make me a sandwich. Spanish, German, and Latin were the most prevalent ones. Make me el Spanisho sandwich. A primal fear of the unknown gripped me as I blindly navigated the level. Judging by the look on Mario's face, it plagued him also. This stemmed from childhood, which made it all the worse.
What stemmed from childhood?
Whose childhood? Mario's or yours?
Yours. What kind of fucked up childhood did you have?
Apparently, his mother just gave him like $1 and said, "Go ride the bus into downtown and walk back home."
Oh boy.
I not only felt like Mario was in danger, I felt like my livelihood and my well-being were in danger. At that moment, one of those demons swooped down. I would say the most accurate way to describe this creature would be a miniature Cthulhu. Sure. Why not?
Oh wow.
So let's misspell Cthulhu here.
Sure, yeah, why not?
Its claws plucked out Mario's eyes, making them profuse. Oh my god, so much blood. Making them profusely bleed. He unleashed an
Ephemeral.
ephemeral. What does that word mean? I've heard the word.
I've heard the word too. I just don't remember what it means off the top of my head.
Yet bone-chilling cry. After the searing pain relented, Mario trudged on. After the searing pain relented, Mario trudged on. There got to be a comma there.
Yeah.
After the searing pain relented, Mario trudged on. His face was now void of any and all expression. It was because he knew as well as I did that he would be torn apart. Brutally and slowly, but it would happen. After a few more seconds, the second demon came. It was identical, period, to the first. It swooped down with grim black bat wings and did its portion of damage. After it was said and done,
Just a portion, though. Just a portion.
Just the thing had torn Mario's arms off. It had done 2/5 of the damage. Mario stopped dead in his tracks. "I've lost my arms," he said. It's just a flesh wound.
Well, my day is ruined now.
You've got no arms left, you bloody bastard. Yes, I have. They're over there. He sobbed loudly, knowing the worst was yet to come. I felt so sorry for him that the words escaped me. He continued with a morose look. His normal walk slowed to a shuffle. Not a few seconds later,
To the
turned to Linus. Just get that little music in the back. Oh, the little slow. Oh, I can't even do it. I can't do it.
That one?
Hello, darkness, my old friend. No.
Oh, Sound of Silence.
No, not even that one. No, there's like a sad Peanuts music, and I can't for the life of me think of it.
Oh, okay.
Not after a few seconds after that, the final solitary No. You can't have a final solitary specter. There's already been 2 other ones. He's not solitary. He did his work with one big slash. Mario was now without his legs, and his lump of a body sat there. I'll bite your legs off! The day is mine, Sir Mario.
Oh my god.
He sadly wept in utter despair. He knew the end was near. He tuned to me and choked out this. He was dialing the radio with his nose. His mustache was streaming across the FM channels.
Y94 FM.
I'm sorry you had to witness this. I'm sorry you had to witness this. Everything.
Oh my god.
These were his last words spoken on level 5 before a gaggle of hell's minions. They're geese. Before a gaggle of hell's minions descended and tore apart what remained of him.
Well, to be fair, if hell would have any kind of bird as its hated emblem, geese would probably be a good one.
Makes sense. They are assholes. His entrails were liberally exposed as they regurgitated in their cruel feast. Everything in this damn story is vomiting.
I love also like liberally exposed.
Liberally
there will there will be a minimum entrail for all households.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Oh boy.
When the dust cleared, a mere shell of him remained. All you could see of his open stomach were his open spine and back. No. If you opened his stomach,
You would see the stomach.
all you could see of his open stomach were his open spine and back muscles. As I had predicted, the blood whistle came to transport him to whatever hellish situation it contemplated would be worse than the last, probably by impaling him in the chest.
Probably.
Consider it sheer luck if I make it to another post tomorrow. If I do, it may be my last.
Oh, I hope so. Anyway, I think this is the last one. I could be
don't
wrong.
know. It looks like we've still got at least a third of this to go.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. June 12th, 2012. I'm starting to not care anymore. I am in the throes of such a severe depression, it's all starting to fade away. Everything. School, friends, family. It's safe to say this game is single-handedly ruining my life, just like how it ruined my sandwich. Such sadness. Such sadness has never been...
Really looking forward to that pastrami.
Such sadness has never become me ever before in my life. My grandfather died when I was young, but that didn't close to equate what I'm feeling now. Yeah, you need another word there, buddy. It's a direct result of the level that I played today, which I'll get into right now. World 6 appeared. Ice was everywhere. This is one
blood ice.
There was one part that correlated to the you know what, probably there was one part that correlated to the unaltered version. Nothing else did. The ice was none other than frozen realistic blood. Crystallized pieces of crimson droplets bordered the ice blocks. You mean blood blocks? Blood filled in the small pockets of water that were...
No. The ice was frozen realistic blood. There's no ice.
Yes, there's no ice. There's no ice. Oh my god. Of course, there was only a solitary dot on the map. Mario entered it, and I knew that whatever was to pass, it would be tenfold of what had already happened.
Is that possible? Mario's already been stabbed 10 times.
Unless he gets stabbed like 10 more times. Pure sable white was the only thing that constituted of the backdrop. Blocks of blood ice. He's even calling it blood ice.
Come on.
Blocks of blood ice served as a slippery ground. Mario slid along as I controlled him. He appeared happy. What?
Look, a blood ice. It's like blood sausages. He was right at home.
Wee. Oh my god.
Oh, wait, no, that's German, isn't it?
Yeah. Overjoyed might be more accurate. Here he had nothing to deal with, just him and an open space. 5 minutes.
As far as the eye could see.
5 minutes passed, then 10. Okay. All the way through, Mario was happy as I let him run around and fly. He had regained the raccoon When?
Right after he stripped off that Tanuki suit after his stomach had been torn out through his rib cage.
I guess. Which
is not really possible.
It seemed like he had all the time in the world. The clock ticked, and all seemed right in the game.
Except for the verbiage.
Yeah, making my way through the level, I found out it had no end. Time, oddly enough, would turn out to be the ultimate enemy. Ooh.
Boss fight, sweet.
Oh wow, this is a pretty short one, so I'll just read this whole one.
Yeah, go for it.
At the 20-minute mark, a tempest began to pick up. A flurry of snow and wind ensnared Mario, and he now began to curl his tail. The ice and the snow that fell was none other than blood. Probably. It doesn't actually say that, but I would bet money on it. It doesn't say that,
but it may as well.
His teeth chattered and his body shook. He soon had to sit down. Mario and I soon figured out how the game planned to snuff him out this time. with ice and time. He sat and tried to heat himself. This, needless to say, was a less than feeble attempt. Nothing but the creepy bass beats from World 5 played. Mario's skin soon began to turn a light blue. Nevertheless, he still sat and brooded in the icy cold.
Wasn't he already gray?
I don't know. It was then that the utmost feeling of sadness had encapsulated me. I couldn't fathom my sympathy. What? Oh, okay.
You need a better yardstick.
Yeah. I couldn't begin to describe how bad I felt at the fact that his death was absolutely inevitable, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Just simply watch in shook and dejected awe. Shock and dejected awe.
Shock.
Sorry. But, I mean, there was already a problem with the sentence in the first place. I just made it worse.
No, I understand.
Oh, and dejected
Truly,
awe.
I sympathize with you.
And dejected awe, just like the electronic dejection from earlier. Frostbite soon took his hands. 10 minutes after that, World 6 Mario was no more, just a frozen block of a man, sitting there in the middle of an infinite winter wilderness. After the
Turn into The Shining.
After the Daddy! Peach!
Here's a Mario!
Here's a God damn it! After the sadness came feelings of sheer loneliness. I felt abandoned and alone, just like Mario sitting in the middle of that field. I felt as if no one would save me from the torture of this game. The blood whistle came down and made a chunk sound as it impaled his chest.
11.
Oh my
11.
god! Wow. So 10 and 1 and 1. Okay.
Is that 10 or was that 11? Oh,
I think
no,
it was 10.
Right.
Yeah.
I was counting the one that we implied from the last one.
Oh my god.
10 to 1 to 1.
As it impaled his chest, taking him to the next level of hell. I closed the emulator window like always and ended this subjected torture.
He's already on the last level of hell.
I will bring myself to play this game tomorrow, but mark my words. I'll play the last tomorrow. You already said that, and then the blog will
3 times.
And then the blog will hopefully live on in my memory, so my tribulation can be seen by the world. Be here, same time, same place.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Yeah,
I would just like to point out that if he's taking him to the next level of hell, he's already reached the last level of hell because the last level was the ice world.
Probably,
well,
yeah.
Satan, or if we're going by Dante's Inferno,
yeah,
it was already the ice world.
Hang on, wait. So first of all, there's a couple of things before we actually go on. First of all, I looked up what the hell the word ephemeral meant.
Oh,
it means lasting a very short time. So there was that. And secondly, I just looked up the
Wait,
20.
That doesn't make any sense because
it was a short yet horrifying scream is what I think it was supposed to be. And so then after that, I decided, just because I think the last level is June 13th, I thought to myself, this has got to, did he actually plan this to end on Friday the 13th? So I looked up a June 2012 calendar, and June 13th is on a Wednesday. It's not even on a Friday.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Dude, you missed a serious opportunity here.
Super opportunity right there. All you had to do is, what, 2 years?
Something like that, yeah.
I think it skips like that?
Yeah, I think so. Oh my god. Well, maybe the leap year also throws things off. I don't know, but anyway.
It might, or at least pick a different month. Although he would have missed D-Day, I guess.
Oh yeah, he would have missed D-Day. Excuse me.
You could have had Armistice Day in November.
I guess. All right, we got, I think, one last thing, and then there's an aftermath. Cool.
Oh, there is. This is a long one. Tell you what, I'm gonna if you look ahead with me a little bit here, I'm gonna take it down to the she whispered.
Okay, yeah. Then I'll take over the rest.
Then that should give you about half of it. That'll split this about in half.
Sounds good to me.
June 13th, 2012. It is ironic indeed that today is June the 13th, the unlucky number, the unlucky day, because Wednesday is an unlucky day. It is Woden's Day, so I mean, I guess he is kind of a surly bastard, but I suppose today isn't completely horrible. Today is the last day I had to play this wretched game. This horrifyingly absurd remake of what I used to see as a wonderful game will soon be out of my life. It had perversed this wonderful thing that he used to love.
Yeah, knew and
Along,
loved.
wait, this horrifyingly absurd remake of what I used to see as a wonderful game will soon be out of my life. Period. Along with everything else.
Okay.
Period. All right. So that I love a good nothing sentence.
Mm-hmm.
With this last post, I suppose I can finally be honest about my true intentions ever since I finished World 2. I'm going to take my own life.
Because of course you are. It
Uh,
wouldn't be a creepy pasta if it wasn't.
of course.
Ugh.
There's that trigger warning again.
Yeah.
This game has caused me sorrow on such an ineffable level that there is no other option. Life will never be the same. Mom and Dad, I love you.
Oh my god, this is really stupid.
This is getting like dark,
Mhm.
fast, darker.
Yeah.
Well, there's not enough blood, but Michael and Kelsey, you guys be good. Listen to Mom and Dad. They have a lot of valuable lessons to teach you. Lessons that I learned but can now never apply again.
Jesus
Now,
Christ.
for what you 75,000 followers read this post for the rest of the game, they're not reading it for your apparent inevitable, imminent
Yeah, no, of course not.
demise.
No, of course not.
Sorry, I slipped into some alliteration there myself and almost botched it. Hell itself is worse. Hell itself is what the game brought me to. I suppose that this was intended to convey World 8.
Intentioned to convey World 8. Sorry.
What did I read? What did
Intended.
I say? Intentioned.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever. It's the same.
tomato.
I'm splitting.
Tomato.
I'm splitting hairs
Will.
here, admittedly. I'm sorry. I'm so
It
brain.
is not the worst.
I'm so brain dead. I have to come up with something to keep my mind active here.
No, not hell. Worse than hell. Bodies were chained up in the background, enduring a myriad of tortures. It kind of sounds like hell.
Yeah.
The only pain wasn't strictly felt from injuries, though.
Oh my god.
I read that?
You read that correctly. Yes.
Okay. The only pain wasn't strictly felt from injuries, though. The coughing, dying, wheezing, and there's that vomiting again in the background reeked of pestilence and suffering.
As there were sadistic smiles.
Stop, I'm gonna come over. I will drive out there tonight and punch you in the face. Fires emblazoned certain people as well. Just certain people like Hitler and Richard Nixon. The flames had an actual burning quality to them, not like regular 8-bit fire. Flesh, eyes, and other internal organs and tissue flesh, eyes, and other internal organs and tissue constituted the walls and ground.
Flesh and eyes are not internal organs. You can see eyes.
That's why, you see why I got confused for a
Yeah.
second there. So,
also,
all
if flesh was an internal organ, it would defeat the purpose of being flesh.
Yes.
I mean, okay, yes, skin has various layers underneath it, but you know what? Whatever.
All hail the new flesh.
Oh,
God. Yes! Yes, I'm so glad you knew where that came from.
Fuck you.
If the hell I'm certainly going to exists, I think it looks something like this.
But you said if, and if it exists, and you're certainly going there.
I bet, you know what, Will? I bet you they've got a hell of a band.
Stop it! Oh, God, I hate you sometimes.
Yes.
Ugh.
Oh.
Ugh.
Mario stood before a possessed Princess Toad. Her dress was ripped in several places and spattered with blood.
Of course it was.
Her eyes gleamed red. I bet you that was blood red.
Mhm.
The flames casting an evilly maniacal allure to her appearance. Bowser and his 6 sons. Weren't there just 4? Weren't there 4 earlier? I thought there were only
Well,
4.
there were only 4 that appeared in that one moment, but there's
Oh.
others, yeah.
And his 6 sons were tied to wooden poles with terrified looks on their faces. All right. Wendy, for some reason, didn't appear anywhere in this game.
All right, you know what? I will give him credit for one thing. When
Knowing
he's
their name.
well, one, knowing her name, and also for knowing the fact that Bowser actually does have a daughter in that game.
Well, yeah, I'll give him that, but it's such a weird aside.
I
Wendy, for
guess.
some reason, didn't appear in any of this game. Apparently, we're going to torture everybody else but that one person.
Yeah.
In one hand, Peach brandished a sizable dagger. In the other, the blood whistle.
Oh, we're gonna see some impaling.
Yes. She walked over to Bowser and looked him in the eyes. It's going to be a strap-on, isn't it? Technical limitations slightly hindered
What?
the interpretation of what events passed.
Wait a minute. No, stop for a sec. Because the technical limitations didn't stop the incredibly realistic blood or anything else like that from happening. So
Nothing
why
else.
is it so bad now?
Because it's censoring the strap-on, Will.
Oh, alright, fine.
Through his gag, Bowser pleaded with her not to harm him. She brought the knife close to him and he froze up. He was obviously paralyzed with fear. Her mouth got close to his ear and text rolled along the bottom of the screen, conveying the text of what. The text rolled along the bottom of the screen, conveying the text of what played out given the sound limitations.
But apparently not a sound limitation enough to create an ephemeral yet horrifying scream.
Will, logic.
If it's the logic within his own universe. Just keep going before I ruin myself anymore.
This is what enabled Mario to speak in the past.
Oh, fuck you.
So wait, he could hear the ephemeral. I know. Don't correct me.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Alright. Ugh, jeez.
Speak in the past. Shh, she whispered.
Oh, boy. Okay, I'm up.
Oh yeah.
Bowser's innards spilled onto the floor in a giant heap. He let out a monstrous 8-bit roar of pain as this happened because Bowser
It
apparently
was out in text.
out in text.
It said A H
H H H H exclamation exclamation 1 exclamation.
It's in a little blue box.
Yes. The Peach laughed, her red eyes reflecting whatever evil had possessed her. The princess proceeded to eviscerate all 6 of his other sons. Mario did nothing but look on in horror as his mortal enemies were torn apart by a woman he had once loved very much, knew and loved. His face soon his face soon contorted into one of loathing. He had come all this way to find out the very girl he wished to save had been taken over by an extraterrestrial evil.
Sweet, we are into the Cthulhu myth.
Oh my god.
This is not hell, this is the old ones.
An evil that would not only haunt Mario, but me as well. The sort of evil that doesn't go away when you turn off the game. You mean just like all the other evil in this game so far? Okay, whatever.
The one that was covered in blood.
Yeah. The kind of dark force that follows you to your bedchambers. Bedchambers? Like the 1700s?
And he's got a castle.
And steals your soul.
Bedchambers.
Princess Toadstool paused for a couple of seconds, then came at Mario with the knife. Hey there, Mario, she said as she toyed with the knife. They got a. Oh, god damn it. They got a little sharp with me, so I pushed them over the edge. Hee hee hee.
Oh,
Oh my
you know, all
god.
I can hear is just oh Christ, audition.
Oh god, I hate that so much. I tried to move Mario, but nothing happened. He stood there afraid of what she would do. She brutally slashed open his arms, legs, and abdomen. Shortly thereafter, the princess produced some salt from her billowing dress and sprinkled it all over him.
Maybe she was a salt demon.
I guess so.
I'm
Could you
just saying.
could you say that Mario was assaulted?
Oh God Almighty!
Oh man, he screamed
All right,
again,
I'm gonna make a trophy for the worst pun of the night.
and it goes to me.
It's going to you for that one.
Okay, he screamed. He screamed again, unmoving. The Princess Peach you used to know is long gone. The power of the blood whistle consumed that girl and made way for me. And speaking of which, she continued as she produced the blood whistle. Here it is. Hear its cry. With a mocking kiss on the cheek, she began to play Mario the perverse song of the blood whistle. Its notes rotted away the last reserve of good in me. He was heaved by an invisible force into the flames. He cried out as they consumed him. Peach chuckled, chuckled the I'm
Chucked,
sorry,
just
chucked.
chucked.
Peach
There's no
chucked
L.
the
You
whistle,
can handle it,
making it strike him directly in the heart. We hit 11.
Yes.
We hit 11.
You have 11.
Oh. Oh, he continued to wallow in utter anguish as she walked away. As she laughed, he looked into my eyes and bore me this parting message via the text at the bottom of the screen because again, I guess he can't talk anymore.
Well, I'm imagining that his lungs are a little holy at this point.
I guess so. Do not let your life be as painful as mine was. I do not hold. Look, I'm doing my best Mario impression, okay?
I know.
I do not hold reservations against you, as you tried your best to keep me alive. I commend you for that. Goodbye, Bradley. His name is Bradley.
At least it's not Grigner.
Goodbye, Grigner.
Bjorn.
And good luck. The tune of the blood whistle continued to play as the screen panned out of Mario's hell. How he knew my name is Bradley continues to befuddle me. How could he have
all of the other little texts in your computer and just, virused them into the game?
How he could have such depth, such personality. I don't know whether this is a result of the game or being as haunted as it truly is, or the fact that someone's could have been captured inside of this room, of this ROM. Oh my god. Whatever the reason of this, of everything that has come to pass with this abomination, I'm glad I'm finally done. I have made all of my goodbyes at the beginning of this post. I hope that one of you takes the time to save this blog, or at the very least, to show the true hell I have put myself through. I hope that the demented creator of this game isn't festering in the same hell I'm headed for. Goodbye, everyone. Aftermath. This blog was the last recorded statement of Bradley before his death. His roommate discovered him 4 hours after he made the last post. Bradley committed suicide using a recorder that he plunged through his trachea.
Stop.
Okay, so it's...
Wait. Did his roommate post that he plunged it through his trachea, or did Bradley write that himself, hoping that his roommate would discover him 4 hours later?
I think maybe it's like a stupid police statement or something like that. I don't know.
Nobody uses the word plunged.
Well, nobody really uses the word ephemeral in regular dialogue either, and yet it found its way here.
Was it his childhood recorder? Because it would be poetic.
Either that, or he like went out to Walmart and bought one, and then.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, anyway.
Why his trachea? Why not his chest? It would
have been so much better. It would have brought it all full circle.
It would have bookended it so
It
nicely.
would have, but okay. Oh my god. I forgot just how like
Wow.
stupid this story is. I mean, it's hilarious, but it's stupid.
God Almighty, William. You know what? I said back at the beginning of this that I didn't remember if I'd ever read this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had not.
Okay.
This has got to be the first time I've actually read this whole thing. I knew of it from somewhere. I'm gonna guess TV tropes probably
Probably.
played a part in that. But dear God, man.
Oh man, wow. Oh boy. Okay. So that was blood.
I could just see it every time. Oh, high blood whistle in the chest.
Oh my god. Okay. So that's Blood Whistle. We actually got through it all in one sitting, which isn't that bad. We were reading this for about an hour and 40
About a
plus
little.
minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you're listening and you have any other we have any other stories that you want us to possibly read, leave a comment or something like that. Oh my god, I laughed so hard I'm exhausted.
Yeah, we
My
will take any and all suggestions. The only one that I've had really suggested at me so far has been cupcakes.
Oh yeah. Well, you and I have both read that though, so the effect wouldn't be
We
quite the
have.
same.
No, it wouldn't. It would not be a blind read through for
Yeah, it
us.
wouldn't. If it's a blind read through, we're willing to do that. So stuff like Cupcakes is out. Stuff like My Immortal is out.
I would not want to try to read My Immortal.
Not again.
No.
I mean, barring the fact that now apparently it's apparently according to the author it's a troll fic. Kind of that it was written as a troll fic. Kind of makes it not nearly as funny to read anyway.
That is true. Yeah, I've noticed that it just seems to be a lot of those troll fics just happen to be a lot of bad spelling and cursing.
Yeah, but anyway.
So,
Okay, so until next time, whenever that is, I've been William.
come on, do you remember who you are, Will?
I don't know. I think I lost so many
That
brain cells listening to this.
that has been William,
Uh,
and I have been Tom.
Stay away from recorders, boys and girls.
That will kill you
All right.
through the chest.
Yeah, with lots of blood.
So much blood.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.